Hey YouTube, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. I'm here to discuss what I'm going to be doing moving forward as this channel progresses. In case you haven't noticed, I have made a couple of YouTube shorts surrounding things gaming, modern, and the classic times and stuff like that. I've recently uploaded some stuff related to Mario Wonder and Marvel Spider-Man 2 and stuff like that. And I'm going to be making more YouTube shorts associated with that and all other things gaming. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions on what I should do as I progress through this journey surrounding gaming and things of that nature. Please, I will, be open to any suggestions. Also, all of my content and all of the magic surrounding things associated with what I just talked about is going to be displayed here in this very place, which is my room. The reason why that is because that's where I'm able to access everything. As you can see right there, right behind me, is my PlayStation 5. Obviously, it doesn't have the white cover. I replaced it with the black cover. The reason why that is because all my other consoles are black, so I wanted everything to match. Let me show you. So as I mentioned, there goes my PS5 right here. It's a little dusty on the inside. I have to try to clean that dust off a little bit. My Xbox One, which I'm going to actually upgrade very soon. That's my mini PC. I'm gonna explain that in another video. I'm not gonna explain it right now. My Switch down here, and then I actually have more consoles down here. There's my PS3, Wii U. I know you might be wondering why I have a Wii U and things of that nature. I will get to that and I will get to that in a future video. Not now, as I mentioned, for the mini PC, and then of course the Xbox 360. Also, here is my stack of physical games that I own right here and stuff like that. So there is one more thing that I have to show off before I continue. I only have one handheld in my possession, and that is the PlayStation Vita. I will explain this fairly quickly why I only have this handheld and no other handhelds at the moment besides the Ambernic, which I've also shown in one of my YouTube shorts, so go watch that. The reason why I have this is plain and simple. I've only wanted to play one game that is only exclusive to this very device. I pretty much gave it away. Some of you already know which game that is, and that is Uncharted Golden Abyss, and I have beaten it twice already. So, and if you guys, if I did show the list of physical games that I currently own. If you look towards the left where my PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch games are, you do notice that I have all the other Uncharted games in that stack. Enough about that. Let's talk about me and gaming. So I was first introduced at gaming at about 2 to 3 years old. The first console that I owned was a Nintendo GameCube. My dad gave it to me. It was actually the silver one. It was very cool, and I've gotten at least two. I started out with two games. On that very system. So the first game that I've ever played in history and on the Nintendo GameCube was actually this game right here, Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex. Then I was introduced to Mega Man when they gave me the anniversary collection for the GameCube, which came with Mega Man 1 through 8. Then the third game that I got was actually how I was introduced to Mario when they gave me Super Mario Sunshine. And on top, a very interesting introduction. When I was first introduced to Sonic, and mind you, I'm not gonna say I'm a diehard Sonic fan, but I am a fan of Sonic at the end of the day. So I was first introduced to Sonic when I got Sonic Heroes for the GameCube. For weird experience because you don't even like you play as three characters from four different teams, and you're just like who are these people and what do they do and all this other stuff. I got so confused. I didn't know who they were or what they were doing, what the objectives were and stuff like that because I was a kid and I was completely clueless. Uh, but eventually, I never actually got around on beating the game back when I had it, um, until now when I decided to, try again and be like, okay, I got all the emeralds. I beat all the bosses. I even beat all the challenges. Played super hard mode. Things like that. I didn't know that you don't fully complete the game unless you've beaten all the stages, gotten all the ranks, and all that stuff. If you've played Sonic Heroes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I was then introduced to more games when my cousin brought in his GameCube and brought all his games from Sonic Adventure 2 to Spider-Man, and all that stuff. And those games were fun. Those games were entertaining. I actually moved to the U.S. around that time and was introduced to, more games, and I started playing other stuff, even movie based. Actually, I think I've only owned about one movie based game, which would be The Incredibles, and I haven't beaten that either. There's a small come to think of it, there is a small portion of GameCube games that I've beaten, or that me and my cousins beaten back then, and one of them has to be, I don't know, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Now that was an easy beat. You didn't even have there was no objectives of collecting the Chaos Emeralds. That was all automatic. Let's see, what other GameCube games did we beat? I mean, I do remember the Mega Collection where it has all the classics. I also remember having the most memorable accessory of all time when I used to play Donkey Kong Jungle Beats. That is this right here, the bongos, the DK bongos right here. Me and my cousin were obsessed with these when we were kids. It was by far the best accessory that I've ever owned, and I finally got one of these in my hands, actually from DK Oldies as a as a token of my memories. So as far as the other consoles around that era is concerned, PS1, PS2, and the original Xbox, other people who had it, I went to come visit them, tried it out. It was enjoyable. My cousin had the PS2. We played Kingdom Hearts. We played Test Drive. We played all these different kinds of games. And around that time, before my cousin owned that PS2. My uncle had it. He's played games like God of War and Devil May Cry, and all that. And mind you, we were too young to even play those games, which is why we were unable to, enjoy it as much as he did. Um, as far as we're moving on to the handheld area now. So I'm gonna let you guys know right now that everything that I have owned, whether it's original consoles or handhelds, I've always made sure that I have at least played a Sonic game in every single console that I've owned. So the next one is actually a handheld. It was the Nintendo DS. I played Sonic Rush. I played Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've played Naruto. Um, After I owned the DS, my cousins ended up owning a DS. They ended up having games like Super Mario and Cooking Mama and Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. You know, it's such a strange game for a handheld, but hey, it is what it is. I like to be honest with you. The DS was a very interesting handheld. It came with a lot of built-in accessories from the stylus to the bottom screen being touchscreen. There were other hidden features inside the DS. If you played Naruto Ninja Console 3, and you're doing Sasuke's Phoenix Flower Jutsu, you actually had to blow into the DS in order to actually perform the jutsu. That is a very interesting feature. If you tried it before, I mean, props to you. If you have a DS, get that game. Use Phoenix Flower Jutsu on your opponent, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Next up on the list is actually another handheld. And boy, do I have a lot of memories with that handheld. I've gotten that thing destroyed. That thing was so durable, at least 3 to 4 times, and that is, of course, the PSP, the PlayStation Portable. I've had a lot of games on that thing. It's insane. I've had Naruto. I've had Sonic. I've had Dragon Ball Z. I had Secret Agent Clank. What else? What else did I own? There's a lot. Ben 10. Yeah, Ben 10. Pursuit Force. I gotta tell you something. Pursuit Force, probably one of my all-time favorites. Um, if you haven't played it, it's actually ported onto the PS5 for $10. Two of the games, the original and Extreme Justice. Play it. It's so much fun. I should mention that when I did have my PSP, that's when I first owned a couple of GTA games, that being Vice City and Liberty City Stories, but never finished neither one of them. And I'm actually in the process of actually, I'm not really in the process of doing it. I am in the process of playing GTA 3 and all that. I'm kind of one of those people now that I'm just like trying my best to like go in order in certain games in the series. So that goes for the Ratchet and Clank series, God of War, Uncharted, you know, all those games that I've grown to enjoy. I try to play them in order now. Onward to the PlayStation 3. So, in case you've already forgotten, I mean, I did show you the consoles that I currently own. That same PS3 that you see right there is the exact PS3 that I actually got back in 2009, and I still own it. I will always cherish that forever, along with the list of PS3 games that I have right here. And if you've missed out on the list of games, I've got more PS3 games than I have with um all the other physical games for other consoles combined. So that's how much I actually cherish the PS3 itself. But but never owned Last of Us, never owned Uncharted, but I have managed to redeem myself by getting those games ported onto my newer console back here. So, it is what it is. Mind you, these rated M games, I wasn't old enough to play them, so at least cut me some slack. I know most kids probably had them because their parents owned their consoles and played it and all this other stuff. Me, I'm my own person. I'm practically the only one in my house that plays video games anyway, which means I don't share. Then came the day after Christmas 2016. I went and bought myself my PlayStation 4. Didn't have a lot of games for it at the time. I started out with Uncharted 4 and the Mega Man Legacy Collection. I actually bought the Legacy Collection a year after its release, which was released in 2015, and then about 2 years later, the second Legacy Collection dropped, and I actually bought it on its release date. Just enough time to beat those games repeatedly before Mega Man 11 came out and all this other stuff. I mean, I currently own about a decent amount of PS4 games. I even got Tekken 7 on here. I got Street Fighter 5. And I started to grow into the Streets of Rage series. I was first introduced to the Streets of Rage series when I got the Genesis collection on my PS3, and I was playing, I was playing Streets of Rage 3, and I had a lot of fun. I like beat 'em ups. Not a lot of people. I feel like that type of play style is very underrated, and you tend to forget that you can actually play as a team and beat bad guys up in a game. And there is a lot of options to choose from as far as beat 'em ups is concerned, and multiplayer types of beat 'em ups is always fun. And then finally, present day, 2 years ago, just about, I actually got myself the PS5. Very hard. It was very hard and very challenging to come by with my work schedule and my school schedule. I try to have every opportunity in the world to actually cop myself a PS5, and it was so hard. And then it was actually May 28th, 2 years ago, I actually got myself one. And man, was that dreadful. Was that dreadful to find myself a PS5, a PS5. Now, one of the most dreadful things that I had to do in order to access this is to get a bundle. A bundle that cost me two to $300 more than just the console itself. And the bundle, everything else that came with the bundle, it's so hard. It's so hard for me to actually do this. I actually traded that in because I didn't need it. I didn't need it. It came with Gran Turismo 7. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to hate me for this, but I actually traded that in after I've had it for about maybe like a week or two. But also, it came with MLB 2K20, I believe. I'm not a big sports guy when it comes to games. I'm not an NBA person. I'm not a MLB person. I'm not a Madden person. Definitely not a Madden person. But I was more into WWE video games and stuff like that. And I've actually stopped playing a lot of these wrestling games. Like I currently own, what is it? 2K22. That's last year's games. I don't even have this year's at the moment. And I don't even think I'm planning on getting it. Maybe in the near future I might, but really not now. But at least then I managed to cop some of the stuff that I actually wanted to originally buy in the first place, whether that being, Miles Morales or Call of Duty. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and then of course the Uncharted series as a whole and all that. So that's pretty much the gist of everything from beginning to now. In between those times, going to garage sales and eBay and stuff like that. Oh, and Amazon too. I was able to at least get myself a PlayStation 2, played Sonic Heroes and beat it in its entirety from the main stories to the extra stories to the extra content and the super hard mode. I managed to beat that when I got Sonic Heroes on the PS2. Then I started getting into emulating and things like that. And it's an experience, even though it's not original hardware, because there's no way I can fit all of this original hardware on my TV. I just try my best to try to get everything not in the original hardware, but to make it so that I can enjoy myself any way that I can, whether it's playing GameCube games or playing PlayStation 2 games, 3 games, uh, or wanting to play like N64 or Super Nintendo. I am able to experience all that, not in original hardware, but I'm at least able to enjoy it. Some of you are just like, what are you talking about? It's not the same as, original hardware. Or what do you mean you can still enjoy it if you don't have the consoles themselves? I'm going to explain all of that later on. Just y'all please just stay tuned and just know that I'm at least able to enjoy anything and everything that I've grown to love for a very, very long time, for over 2 decades now. Um, I've enjoyed every minute of gaming in its entirety, and I will never I will never let this passion go for as long as I live. So, um, that's pretty much it. There will be some more gaming content on the way. I am not too sure about gameplay and things of that nature, but y'all stay tuned. Y'all stay tuned because there will be more stuff on the way. So till then, peace out.